Following program has adult language and potential spoilers. Listener beware.
Introducing the world's greatest superheroes. Captain America fighting injustice the world over. Spider-Man, the weird wall climber. The Super Foes, the arch enemies of the superheroes. Iron Man, power personified. The Falcon, that great black superhero. The Green Goblin, Spider-Man's strange enemy. The Lizard, half man, half beast.
Welcome to the Marvel Superheroes Podcast. I'm Legal Machine. With me is
Diabolu Frank
and
Mr. Fixit.
And today we're going to talk about Captain America: Brave New World.
Presumably, I halfway think this is just going to get appended to a Thunderbolts podcast or some shit. I don't know. We've got 30 minutes even on
Blacked in America.
Blacked in America.
Blacked in America.
Fucking loved it.
Yeah, tell us more.
Brave New Affirmative Action.
DIE all the way.
Not DIE, it's DEI. DIE to DEI.
There's DOA.
DEA is DOE is
DID.
DIE.
You know I've been no fan of heroes, but even I can't deny the good that you've done. Work with me, Sam. Country needs Captain America.
The world is on the brink of war. It's my job to fix it. What if it's a trap? Stand by for proof of that. Somebody is pulling the strings on everything. Captain America. You don't even know what this is. You want me? Come and get me!
Tell me I don't make your old gear look brand new.
Who's saying that?
Everybody.
I thought it was great.
All right, what do you think about it, Frank?
Sam Wilson was great. I like the fact that they did call into challenge how the serum has different effects. Like, of course, the serum did one thing to Red Skull. The serum did something to Cap, and he refused. Did Bucky take a serum?
The Winter Soldier, who was barely in this movie, was exposed to a variant.
A variant of
that
serum,
where Hydra was experimenting, trying to make the Super Soldier Serum based, I guess, on Red Skull's development.
Because that part I guess I never caught that in the movies. Did they say he took serum?
Well, again, they busted
Like
him
a Winter
out.
Soldier movie, or
So here's the thing. In World War II, Bucky didn't do any superhero stuff, right? To my recollection.
Yeah.
But they were experimenting on him, trying to do super soldier stuff to him. And I guess that's supposed to have kicked in at some point while he was under ice or something. I don't know. But the whole point was that he was one of the people they were experimenting on. And it was Hydra. Red Skull had been part of the program when Erskine was in Germany still. And I guess it was sort of like some sort of derivative of Red Skull's serum.
Oh, okay.
That messed him all up.
Okay, so I just like the fact that he pushed back on taking the serum, and you could see the effects of it. Like, he got hit, he got rocked a few times.
I think he just literally said he wished he had taken it.
But they kept telling him that doesn't make you better. Well, I don't know, because didn't the doctor tell Cap the serum makes good people better and worse people worse?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it enhances who you already are.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed the movie. I can say I took my wife to the movie, and this is the first Marvel movie she actually enjoyed. She was like, "Yeah, I like that movie," and I'm like, "What?" And I've made her sit through other ones, and she's just kind of glassy-eyed and smiles and nods at me like, "Oh, yay, we're having fun." So I just gave it a thumbs up. How about you, Ebert?
I thought it was pretty mediocre. I thought it was pretty boring. The action sucked. You could tell that there were tons of reshoots on that movie. I don't know what the fuck Gus Fring was doing in it even. He was part of the Serpent Society or something. It was like whatever, dude. It was lame. It was just a Disney Plus. It was a 3-episode Disney Plus episode with worse special effects. I thought Red Hulk was terrible.
I fucking love the Red Hulk.
No, it looked awful. He didn't even do anything. The leader was awful. Second, he's not as bad as like MODOK and whatever. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Nobody really gives a shit other than you about a callback to the fucking shitty Hulk movie. That didn't give me that's not the fan service people are looking for. I feel like they're starting to do this shit now. They're like, we got to give them some fan service, like with Endgame. Let's use the leader from the Ed Norton Orton Hulk movie, and it was stupid. I don't think people ever even realized in that movie that was going to be the leader. They just thought it was some dorky scientist that had some shit fall on his head. It was just dumb. I thought it was really stupid. They should not have even ever made it. They should have scrapped this movie. Sorry, it just had nothing to do with anything. That's it.
And you, Frank?
I'm not exactly going to be a tiebreaker here. So it took me forever to get around and watch the movie. I kept meaning to, and I thought we were going to get together and record on it, and then we didn't do that. And I always had it was always going to be a thing where I was going to try to catch it on a Thursday if we were going to get together on a Saturday, and then we were not getting together, so I just kept not seeing it. And then finally, toward the end of the run, I don't know if I think it might still be in theaters at this point, at the point of recording, but I don't know when this is going to be released. We're already winding down the episode, so I don't think this is an episode.
It might already be on. It's not Disney Plus.
No, it's not there yet.
May. I think beginning of May they're supposed to release something.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I had a choice. I could have seen that, or I could have seen the day the Earth blew up, the Looney Tunes movie. And I do really regret not going to the Looney Tunes movie because that definitely left theaters that week. It was out and it was freaking gone. And then Captain America was at least out the very next weekend, so I could have done both if I'd separated.
Wait. The Looney Tune movie lasted a week in the theaters?
It was available at the theater that I didn't go to if I did yet to see. Yeah, I thought about trying to catch them both. And I didn't really have the time, the energy to see two movies, so I went with Captain America, and I wish I'd gone with the Looney Tunes one.
Didn't realize the Looney Tune movie was even in theaters. I thought it went straight to video, but okay.
Yeah, no, it was in theaters. And I made sure to see it since Paquita wasn't going with me because she had a work thing, or if I remember correctly. I went to a nice theater with recliners and everything, which is good. I get tired of going to the theater that's nearest to us that is not that comfortable because she doesn't want to travel. So at least I got to have a nice reclining seat and everything else. Wasn't crowded, of course, because you're weeks into it. It wasn't that successful a flick. And I was just bored the whole time because plenty of people commented on this. It was obvious that the big twist was that the Red Hulk was in it. Mm-hmm. That's the twist. And the twist was spoiled by everybody everywhere always because they knew that was the selling point of the movie. And so I'm just sitting there waiting on something to happen that I didn't already know was going to happen.
Takes a long time.
And it never happened. There was no point in the movie where I saw something that I didn't expect. What I kept not seeing, I kept waiting for a twist. I kept waiting for something. I knew they had downplayed the role of Sabra. And I think I'd heard that she was part of the Black Widow program and stuff. And that's exactly what they did. They downplayed her to the point where she's barely even Israeli. I don't even know if they ever specifically referred to her as Israeli. So there's nothing surprising there. There's no cameos I didn't know was coming. And for a while there, I was like, did I hallucinate liking Captain America and the Winter Soldier? Was that something where I thought I liked it? I was the one person who liked it. Nobody else seemed to like it. And because it's the same people, right? And then I actually started listening to our episode on it. I got only maybe about 30 minutes or so in. Most of it was me and you talking about halfway through the season. And then we were just starting to get into the full season. And that's all it took. You're
talking about the Disney Plus show.
Yeah, it was a Disney Plus show.
Oh, they said Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Sorry, I meant the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay. Yeah. I realized, okay, the problem is that I watched that show, and that show had a bunch of Captain America stuff in it. And that's what I like about it, is it's got the Flag Smasher, and it's got Johnny Walker, and it's got all this stuff that was relevant to me as a Captain America fan, even though it didn't say Captain America in the name. Just the relationship between the Winter Soldier and Falcon was interesting to watch, right? This movie was, if you're not a fan of the Falcon, there's nothing, they say Captain America, and I guess he's wearing a Captain America-ish costume, but the shit that he's doing, yeah, he uses the shield some, but for the most part, he's running around with the wings chopping stuff up and flying at ridiculous speeds with a helmet on and shit. It was just Falcon shit, and I don't care enough about the Falcon to watch Falcon shit. It's like one thing we didn't talk about in the episode was our history with the Falcon, and I have a very short history. He was in the Power record that I had as a kid, where they also introduced Helmut Zemo as the Falcon, and I think at that point in time, the Falcon was still a guy who was on, swung into action. I don't think he had the bird yet. I don't think he could fly yet. I think he was just a typical vigilante type person, and he was the sidekick to Captain America, and there really wasn't much to him besides being the sidekick to Captain America, and I'd like to find that role. And then I was thinking about how when I was growing up, and the black kids I hung out with when I was a kid, if they had a Falcon comic, they had one issue of the 80s miniseries, and they didn't buy the second, third, fourth issue. They had one issue, and they lost interest. And I think it's because the Falcon just feels like the white guy's black guy. Like, he's the respectability politics superhero guy. He's that great black superhero from Mego because some white guy decided he was going to be the black hero. And I'd never seen black people embrace him when I was a kid. I didn't see the figure on the shelves. He apparently did get a figure. I think my brother might have had it, but it never made it to shelves. His comic books, people, not only did my people not buy it, but black people weren't buying it from what I saw in my experience. And he just feels like he's sort of he's just the sidekick to Captain America. And they decided he was going to be Captain America. And I was fine with it when he was doing Captain America shit like he was on the TV show. But in this movie, he wasn't doing anything. It was just the action wasn't very strong. You didn't have any really cool action sequences that really won you over. Falcon shit, he flies around. He does the shit where he's chopping shit with his wings and stuff. You've seen that in all kinds of shit. There's nothing really special.
I think didn't Red Wing get some shine in this movie early on too?
Yeah, and then and also in the TV show they did stuff with the Falcon guy, even though he wasn't the Falcon. opinion. But he was like a good sidekick in the TV show. But in the movie, he's just this overeager, douchey guy in a not so great costume. He didn't really got that many moments.
He's Falcon.
Yeah, they didn't. He didn't
He
have anything.
sucks. He's a shitty Disney Plus supporting character.
And then you had all the stuff with like his
Not
family.
a co-star of a feature film.
Yeah, and you had all the stuff with Sam Wilson's family and how he's relating to the legacy and all that kind of stuff. Most of that shit goes out the window in the movie.
It's not in this movie.
So it's like the TV show was a better sequel, and certainly a better Captain America sequel than the movie was. And I was happy to have callbacks to Incredible Hulk. I've talked about how that's a movie that I think is really underappreciated, and I enjoy it. But it has been almost 20 fucking years, and they do wait until like the last couple of minutes to bring in Liv Tyler, so she doesn't even get anything to do. And I'm sorry, she sits out his heart attacks, she sits out his presidency, but she shows up for him when he's in prison. I think if that was going to happen, that reconciliation would have happened a hell of a lot sooner than when he gets in prison. Plus, I'm sorry, I don't think that Thunderbolt Ross is the guy who would willingly go to prison. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he's that honorable of a dude.
I also don't think that they did we had to recast Thunderbolt Ross because the original actor died. I don't think that they made that clear.
Yeah.
I think we get it because we're in the universe.
Yeah.
I think the casual people that are just coming to see these movies, they didn't get any of the Incredible Hulk references. They didn't get any. They did not understand the guy we're watching on TV.
And they did spoon feed that to you too.
They tried
that whole thing in the beginning of the movie where they're trying to spoon feed you. Remember that movie from 18 years ago?
Yeah, well, and it's like, hey, you shaved your mustache and everything. You know what I mean? They're like they tried. I still think it lost.
And you
a lot
never
of people.
see Thunderbolt Ross. You only see Harrison Ford the whole time.
Yeah.
And you were more sympathetic toward him because it's Harrison Ford. It's not fucking Thunderbolt Ross ever. They could have gotten Sam Elliott in there and it would have made it feel more like, oh, that's the guy. Yeah, of course that's the guy.
So
plus, you did go with the mustache.
It just, I just thought the whole thing was.
It's just boring.
It was just a big nothing thing. And again, Red Hulk doesn't show up till the very end of the movie anyway.
Yeah.
And and that was
Falcon does way
every
too
trailer
much
was Red Hulk,
damage
Red
to
Hulk, Red Hulk.
Falcon does way too much damage to the Red Hulk, where he's cutting him and stabbing him and vibranium shocking him and shit. Red Hulk should be way more of an unstoppable force than the way he's portrayed in this movie.
Well, it's MCU on brand to pretty much turn the Hulk into shit. So I'm not surprised they flubbed Red Hulk too.
Yeah, and again, I'm pretty sure they could have gotten the Hulk if they wanted to get in some Hulk stuff. So where's the Hulk? Why don't we have a Falcon Hulk team up in this thing?
Because he shouldn't have been in the movie either.
Yeah.
It would have just been another shitty Hulk appearance.
And I like Gus Fring as much as the next guy, but the dude is pushing 70. You get no credit for getting into a vicious fight with the 70-year-old Gus Fring, and nothing's done with the Service Society.
No.
So that's just this tacked on thing. It was just like you said, it was just nothing.
It was just nothing.
Big old nothing.
In fact, a lot of things you've already said, I'd already immediately forgotten.
Yeah.
It was just boring. So.
And again,
they should have never released it. I don't know why. I don't know why they.
They should have probably just streamed it.
I mean, I totally understand.
That should have been season 2, 3 episodes, season 2.
The show that it was being panned in pre-reviews, and that's why they went to this whole reshoot thing. I mean, I'm not surprised because whatever used to be there sucked too. There's nothing here that did it improve anything. I don't know.
Yeah, and of course they didn't want to get into the politics of the situation, which also hurt because it really leans into the problem I always have with the Falcon. Is where I don't feel like he really takes a side. Like I understand, I think he in like the later stuff, the more modern stuff that I didn't read, he actually has a political side to him. But so often in the old comics, he was just this milquetoast dude who doesn't really have any politics, and they didn't want to do any politics in the movie, so there's nothing there to engage you. It's just nothing. It's just a big old nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't talk to anything. The only thing that was interesting to me was when they had the original Patriot, the character from The Truth.
Not interesting.
Yeah, him being in prison after going back to prison.
Cool.
Yeah, and breaking down. That was good.
I thought it was way more effective in the Falcon Winter Soldier series than it was in this movie.
True. Well, and also it was just sort of like he's sort of like the incarceration equivalent of getting Fridge, where he's only in there long enough to give some stakes to the main character, and then they completely forget about that guy for most of the movie.
Yep.
But I think it was a really strong performance by him in the little time they gave him.
But again, they didn't really recap anything with them, so now the audience.
Yeah, if you didn't watch the
they
show,
need to have watched Captain America and the Winter Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They need to have remembered the 20-plus-year-old Hulk movie, and somehow caught on that Harrison Ford is the same guy from the other Avengers movies, and who's his dopey Falcon sidekick? Oh, again, you had to have watched the Disney Plus show. This movie should have never been in theaters. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Like I don't know who the hell's running shit over there anymore. And maybe this is one of the last movies of the old way they were going to do things, and they're going to stop doing this kind of shit now. Except Thunderbolts kind of seems that way too. I don't know.
Movie looks fantastic.
Thunderbolts was like dog shit, dude. Nobody's gonna see that movie.
Well,
people may see less of that than they saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You were about to say something.
Well, no,
Or Brave New World. Sorry. just said the wrong thing.
I just want to say that what also got me, since we're really talking about a movie of a Disney Plus show at this point, it should all be Disney Plus shit. I kept thinking about Secret Invasion too, and like, why aren't I watching the movie?
Why would you continue to think about that?
No, for a reason. Because this is supposed to be a Captain America movie, and I want to see like a continuation of Captain America shit or introduction of Captain America shit that hadn't gotten on the screen yet. Why isn't he like teaming up with Fury? And the reveal toward the end of this movie is that there's Skrulls running the government, and that's why everything's so divisive and shit. That anything but what they gave us would have been something more than what they gave us. There was no way of this is literally the floor of acceptable pablum. Like they managed to sand down all the rough edges so that you don't hate it. You just don't feel anything.
Secret Invasion may be the like worse than She-Hulk reviewed. Secret Invasion got like globally annihilated. I do not think that basing anything else in the Marvel universe on anything that happened in that series.
Let me be clear. That series deserves to go into the pit. You know, that's a whole whole thing was a horror show. I'm saying back when they were even planning to do this stupid fucking shit, before they even started putting anything to film, why didn't they do something with a big scale to it like Secret Invasion and evolve more of the Marvel universe instead of doing this bizarro quasi Incredible Hulk sequel in a Captain America movie?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like anything, like they could have taken several things from Disney Plus and turned that into a movie and gotten a better movie out of it. This was just nothing. It wasn't even as engaging or as the TV shows. It's pathetic. So yeah, but I'm not mad at it. I'm never going to watch it again because I have no reason to watch it again because there's nothing there to see.
No, I'm mad that people talked a lot of shit like, you guys are just mad that he's a black guy and we can't have Chris Evans do this forever. You're just hating because they didn't bring Chris Evans back. And we're like, no, it's because like Anthony Mackie cannot carry a feature film at this scale by himself. And like everybody, we've been saying this for like ever. Yeah. And it's like they were trying to make this work. And then they had to do all the fucking reshoots. I mean, they had multiple. It was like through this weird stubbornness, they decided not to pull the plug on this movie. And it should never even got out of the development phase. I mean, even when Cap hands Falcon the shield in Endgame, people were fucking pissed about that because it was obviously should have been fucking Bucky. It should have been given, or something.
I don't think there is no replacement of Captain America. That's the number one thing that pisses me off.
But I'm just saying,
Steve Rogers is Captain America. I get so tired of that being like, it's a mantle you can pass from one to another. Fuck you, it's Steve Rogers. Or don't give me Captain America. Don't tease me with Captain America and not give me Captain America.
So when you already weren't sure, and then that reaction was already bad, when almost everything else in that movie was positively accepted, and that when everybody fucking hated, then you're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna make a feature movie on it too. And guess what? It's gonna be based on a Disney Plus show that also got some kind of mixed reviews. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm kind of mad at it because it's like, you should have never fucking wasted everybody's time with this shit to begin with. You could have just made a Red Hulk movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many other things they could have used that budget for that might have been worthwhile, and at least maybe you got some action out of it. This movie was just nothing, dude. It was a lot of talkie. Yeah. It was a lot of talkie with a lot of dumb shit action.
But they're selling it to you as a thriller. They're selling it to you like this
some espionage.
That's what got me into the Secret Invasion mindset. It's like, give me something like a vast conspiracy and give me something that'd be as big of a twist as Hydra for the normies at least. Like they hadn't told anybody that there was going to be a Secret Invasion, and then they stuck that at the end. It's like, oh crap, everybody's infiltrated by the Skrulls, and we're gonna have to have this big war with the Skrulls. That would have been more interesting than literally nothing besides putting Thunderbolt Ross to bed. You know. Yeah.
Anyway, they got burned on it. So,
but again,
I think it made its money back.
And getting back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't think that one of those guys could carry a movie. I don't think Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier could carry a movie either. At least those two had some chemistry. At least that their antagonism toward each other on that show gave it something, some kind of life. There was nothing.
Yeah, but you did that.
Yeah,
you couldn't have made this movie be all about. You know what I mean?
I'm saying that the Disney Plus show was better than whatever the hell this was, and I don't know if they. And I thought that maybe there was big reshoots because they'd done some stuff that was like, ooh, squicky. We're getting into some scary, troubling political areas here. No, it's just they took this thing and they turned it into this thing. They did this thing and they turned it into this other thing. They didn't do anything that substantial. Cut out poor Diamondback. Oh, poor thing. You know, there's no Snyder cut of this thing. There's no version of this that was ever going to be any good. And it's just that supreme arrogance of.
Hey, wait. You just insinuated that the Snyder cut was good.
It is good.
And the Snyder cut is not good.
It's not great. I think it's overrated, but it's definitely a more substantial than I would have expected it to be. But I don't love it. I'm not going to watch it again.
He's a DC fanboy.
It's too fucking long. For it. You like Snyder. You like the Snyder cut. We all like the Snyder cut.
I've seen it once, and I think that's all I'll need to ever see it.
It was just 5 hours long.
It's just way too long. Yeah, but it's not bad. It's just too damn long. Okay. I'm going to watch Justice League again. I'm never going to watch Snyder Cut again.
All right, fair enough. Where's the Justice cut of fucking
We got that shit.
Brave New World. I keep forgetting this movie didn't exist till we started talking about
It's
it.
like I said, we don't have an episode here. We'll append it to the Thunderbolts or something.
We're Bryce and Monkey. You know, a classic duo like Starsky and Hutch or Turner and Hooch. Okay, fine.
Like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Hey, man, it's a whole new city. We can start taking out bad guys.
Atta boy, baby!
If anybody in New York can help us, it's my agent.
Eunice Jones, big fan. I've been watching your work. I have a job for you. Welcome to the majors, baby.
Let's make some money!
Look, all of humanity is about to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Calm down, I got an idea. I want my body and voice back.
48 hours of physical form.
Okay, yes, I made a deal with the devil. I know I've messed up in the past, but you have the chance to be heroes for once. Hey, kiddo.
Dad?
Wait. I've literally gone through hell to talk to you. I just want to make things right.
You want a drink?
I know we all kill people for a living, but we're also a family. Yes, a deeply flawed family.
Let's get violent!
Oh my god. Are these holes from a machine gun? I kinda love it.
Oh no.
Like father, like daughter.
Where is Monkey?
That's National Ass Whooping Day. Incoming!
This monkey is kind of impressive.
I don't know. The suit, the sunglasses, feels a little gimmicky.
God, stop being so sensitive.
Did you ever watch Hit Monkey season 2?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. It was such a
really?
breaker. Yeah, because the first season was so goddamn good, and then like I never thought I was gonna get a second season. I was so shocked, and you know that we got it, and I started watching it, and like by the end I was like struggling to get through the episodes because they just completely misunderstood what made the first season work. They made too much of it about the Jason Sudeikis ghost. They basically made the show about everybody but the fucking monkey. It's all this big end of the world kind of shit, gigantic scale, which fucks everything up, and the monkey joins a fucking super team and shit, and you know that there's going to be a heel turn eventually, so they're like trying to pull some sort of like fucking boys energy, I guess, into it and shit. And you got Leslie Jones being the person who's booking the assassinations, and for some reason she decided she's just going to act in this one and not actually be funny, so she's just like playing a character without really doing anything. And then they bring in the assassin guy's daughter, and he doesn't want her to get involved in his world, and eventually, and at some point he like sells his soul to the devil so that he can become mortal for 48 hours non-consecutively. So you're watching him hold the idiot ball and slowly run down the clock over the course of the season, even on dumb fucking shit that he shouldn't be wasting his power on. And it just lets you know that this guy's a complete moron and doesn't deserve it. And they just, it was just a chore to get through. It was all the worst writing choices and just irritating as fuck. So don't watch season 2 of Hitmonkey.
Well,
garbage.
Yeah, then I'll just stick to the first season because the first season was great.
Yeah, it was. And I know the funny thing too is I more or less rewatched the first season before I got to the second season. So I got to do that direct comparison of how fucking steep the decline was.
That's right.
So you didn't watch Hitmonkey season 2 either, right?
I did.
You did. Tell me about your feelings on that shit.
Shit was kind of whack. It was not great. I don't think I took notes on that. I watched a long time ago. It was not great. We were kind of praying for it to finally end, and it finally ended.
It was torturous, wasn't it? Trying to fight your way through everything that they did right in the first season, they fucked up in the second season, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. What about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Don't even know what you're talking about.
Mr. Osborn? Why me?
Peter, with all your talents, you're capable of incredible things. New York has become a very dangerous place. We need a new hero. We need Spider-Man.
Oh man, this is incredible! I have these powers to help people. You brought a knife to a website? It's actually really smart. Whatever comes next, I can handle it.
What'd you say your name was again?
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You kind of wish you had a neighbor like
Now streaming on Disney Plus.
Still haven't seen it.
I have to say the animation on that, and I'm sure it's CGI shit. God help me, it might even be AI shit, but I fucking love it. I love the animation of that show. It looks so much like a John Romita Sr. comic book come to life that I can overlook that it's about goddamn Spider-Man and nerdy ass Peter Parker and all this other kind of bullshit. It also drives me nuts that they've got Tombstone as a major character in the show. In no way is it the character from the comic books, so that annoys me. But I just love looking at it so goddamn much. The animation just totally. It's like one of the finest comic book translations where it actually looks like a comic book that I've ever seen. So I got to give props to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for that.
No, definitely have to check it out then.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
was
why.
gonna say.
Yeah, and what it is it's back to being like a junior in high school Spider-Man. So it's kind of got that Steve Ditko thing going on there. But they surrounded him with characters of color, and they made the Osborns characters of color. So it's weird because it's almost like, are we doing a Miles Morales show? But like, no, because you got Lily White, total dork Peter Parker in the midst of all these people. So it's like, but it's still got Urbane, and they've got a rap version of the classic theme song and all this kind of bullshit. So it's a way of being kind of inclusive. They've got the Asian sorceress chick from the Runaways in it, and like just this weird hodgepodge of characters that they know they're not going to use anywhere else anytime soon, but they take advantage of it. This is actually a pretty solid show, good voice acting and such. So I would not have expected to be cheerleading for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I have to give it props.
All right.
Okay.
Shout out to inclusion in cartoons.
But it's not all annoying and woke like the fucking dumbass white guy who voices Peter was talking about in interviews and shit. It's like, oh, great. Just bring the heat on yourself. Why don't you? I just want to knock those two out because I don't know what the fuck we're doing tonight. I assume we're just going to have a fucking bouillabaisse of all the goddamn comic book movies that we hadn't already talked about. Is that about the sum of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all guys just go off and I'll throw in when I got something to say.
No. That's not what we're going to do.
What? Okay, go ahead. You master of ceremonies. Go for it. What's going on?
No. What the fuck are you talking about? You said all the comic movies. So what is your definition of that?
I guess the shit we haven't already talked about that came out in the last year or so. You know how we do like the Marvel Megazine ones where I just throw a whole bunch of fucking media shit together all at once? We'll probably do something like that, and I'll throw the Cap one in there. So we don't, unless you have something new to say about Cap, we can move on from that and talk Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four, whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about.
Okay, well, so that's why I'm confused, is because like we didn't talk about Captain Marvel or the Marvels or any of that shit either.
Have we seen the Marvels? I still have not seen the Marvels, so I couldn't talk about it if I wanted to.
Mr. Fixit?
I saw it. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. It was definitely geared toward a more female audience. But for the most part, I still enjoyed it.
Most of the people I hear from say they liked it. But they liked it as shit that they streamed on Disney Plus. I haven't heard a lot of people go like, I really fucked up. I should have seen that in the movie theater and shit. It just seems like it's one of those things where it's for Disney Plus streaming. This was a pretty good movie and way better than I thought it was going to be based on the reception. But nobody's like, renting their clothes like, oh, how could I have missed that movie? Whatever.
Okay, the next comic book movie. How about The Crow? Did you guys see The Crow?
No, not yet.
Hey, man, you're going to put me in fucking charge. We're going to go crazy.
Okay, go for it. No, absolutely not. I have no intention of ever seeing that piece of shit. I didn't see like the last one or two of the proper Crow movies.
I heard it's like one of the worst movies ever, but
I mean, it looked
really?
like shit.
Yeah, I heard it's like offensively bad. Let me see what else has come out.
So I guess no Stone Temple Pilot soundtrack on it.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, they might have tried to actually make a good soundtrack out of it. I don't know.
None of us actually saw the fucking thing though, correct?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so moving
Is
on.
it even on streaming?
Like at least one of us needs to see the fucking thing. Yeah, I'm sure it's streaming, but again, I don't even know where it'd be streaming. We've got no
probably on Blimpy or some fucking shitty free service you watch all the time.
Shit, Tubi.
Tubi. That sounds even more made up than Bilbo or whatever. Every time we talk about this stuff, especially your stupid horror shit, you're like, hey, I caught that one on Stabby. And we're like, what? Yeah. It's ad supported. Oh, you don't know Stabby? Stabby's like the best. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what fucking bizarre world are you living in? Anyway, so yeah, or we were talking about Revenge of the Nerds, and you're like, oh, I think that's on Scraggle. I think it's
I tried everything. Yeah,
it's ad supported on Scraggle. Stars. Actually, that's a real one.
I even went to the Tijuana of Internet Daily Motion, and they didn't have that fucking shit. Maybe if if you went to like 1K movies, one of the porno places, maybe they've got Revenge of the Nerds out there somewhere, but nothing that I was going to have on my TV had it. And I've got a bunch of dumb shit on my TV. And no, you guys, you stumped me. It was true. I had no idea that Revenge of the Nerds had been fucking obliterated from the internet streaming.
I think it's on Cackle. What was that?
And we discussed why it's
okay, so yeah. That's why. Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds is banned from all streaming. Just in case you guys hadn't got that memo, you'll find 2 through 15 or whatever that number.
My stepdad used to say the best way to know a thing is to take it apart, put it back together. Then you can see what it's really made of.
You should take your dad's advice. Break yourself down. See what you're made of.
Here goes nothing. If I'm gonna protect people, I gotta start thinking outside the box.
Out of all the things you could have built, with that big brain of yours, why this?
Because I have to.
Might be a hero in there after all.
Riri, time to wake up.
Love.
What are you?
Your greatest creation yet.
Who the hell else would it be, bitch?
My first question to you is, several years ago, you bought a whole bunch of Iron Man shit, and I was going to try to read more, and I totally left you hanging. Was any of that shit the Riri Williams stuff? Have you ever read anything? Do you know anything about that character beyond what you saw in Wakanda Forever?
No. And no, none of it's in any of the stuff I got.
Yeah. So, did you get the Kieran Gillen run?
Yes.
So, I've heard some good stuff about that, and that's the run where they go into his parentage and all that kind of bullshit. When Gillen left, he got replaced by Brian Michael Bendis, so you know where that's going. This was part of Bendis' decline at Marvel, and then he ended up fucking off DC eventually, and then that didn't work out, and currently he's fucked off to Dark Horse, which is sort of a no man's land. There's hardly anybody at Dark Horse anymore. So the fact that Bendis is there shows where his career is at currently, right? And so he got involved with this thing where he was trying to expand the franchise. So he spun Tony off into this book called International Iron Man. It only ran like 7 fucking issues. It was a miniseries essentially, but I thought it was supposed to be an ongoing. And then the other book was the Riri Williams book. And her deal is she's a super genius who is attending MIT at age 15. Her best friend and her stepfather get gunned down in a drive-by, and so she wants to build a suit of armor like Iron Man's to go and like right the wrongs and shit. And at some point she I don't know how it worked in the comics, but on the show she accidentally creates an AI for her suit that's based on her best friend Natalie. On the show it completely freaks her out and she wants to delete it, but she, you know, it ends up never happening. And so she of course eventually goes off and she joins various teams. For a while they were trying to have her replace Tony Stark, just like in that 2016 period, they were trying to replace all the old white dudes basically. And then the backlash hit, and there was also just that assumption that Brian Michael Bendis could make lightning strike twice. He co-created Miles Morales, and he thought he was going to co-create Riri Williams and get the same kind of reception, and it did not happen that way. And she basically fucked off like the champions and shit, right? Well, Marvel of course wanted to exploit the IP. They'd already killed off Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She gets her own show. You know, it's been sitting around for years, and so it finally hit Disney Plus. And I had no intention of watching it, but what I did do, which I often do with these streaming shows, I just threw it on in the background and only occasionally paid attention to it while I was doing other shit, right? And so it's the same chick as in Wakanda Forever, but she's fucked up. She's gotten expelled from MIT. She's back home in Chicago living with her mom. There's static from that. There's basically static with everybody because she's got like a shitty attitude and she's constantly getting into trouble and shit. So she ends up hooking up with the Hood. Do you remember that guy?
Kind of?
Yeah, if Fixit were here with us, he would bring it up because this was a miniseries from the early 2000s by Brian Vaughn and Kyle Hotz. You know how he loves Kyle Hotz. And the Hood is that guy who's got like a demonic hood, and I think it gives him like special bullets and maybe he can teleport or some bullshit like that. I don't remember. I actually read the fucking miniseries, but it was so long ago and it's not impactful because all I was doing was looking at the art anyway.
I was gonna say it looks cool. I'm looking at some images now. It looks cool.
Yeah. And you know, Fixit loves this shit, you know, and I think that he got involved with some of the Dark Avengers type shit or some of that crap that he's always on about, right? And so they got him on the show, and it's the dude who was in the last Transformers movie and was in the Heights, the Latino dude. Let's see.
Let me Google it.
I think Manny Montana, right? And I actually like the dude. Like I remember.
This is Anthony Ramos.
Is it Anthony Ramos? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's Anthony. What? What? It says in February 2022, Anthony Ramos joined the series as Parker Robbins / the Hood.
Yeah, okay, that's the one
as a
then.
key role in the series. Okay, so he was added in 2022. The show came out in 2025.
Why is he listed so fucking far down the credits, man? I'm looking at Wikipedia. He's like listed 15th, and he's like one of the main leads on the show, right? So anyway, this dude is a crook who's trying to rise up through the ranks in Chicago crime, right? And he's got these people that work with him, and it's like, you know, the diversity gang full on. Did you ever see that movie Talk to Me, the one where they hold the hand of the mannequin and they're able to like channel ghosts and shit?
No.
Okay, it was a well-regarded Australian horror movie. That movie that just came out, Bring Her Back, by the same guys. It's like a couple of twin brothers that do this shit. So anyway, they've got the non-binary person that was in that movie, and then they've got another non-binary person. I don't know what the appropriate term is, but they've got all these people that are like very diverse, but they're also criminals. So they're kind of the bad guys. But Riri Williams' character gets absorbed into this group, and she's working with them for a while. But I think she also has ulterior motives for being there. I don't recall what exactly it was because I really wasn't paying attention in the early part of the series. All I know is the dude who replaced Harrison Ford as Han Solo in that one bullshit movie that people liked it, but it's one of those like prequel things where it's like, I kind of judge you if you like it too much. It's like, I watched that movie that was boring as shit. I watched it on a plane. It was putting me to sleep. So this dude is playing the son of Obadiah Stane. What's that guy's name? You read that shit, right?
The son of Obadiah. No, I don't remember.
The Matt Fraction stuff, didn't you? With Salvador LaRocca?
Oh, yeah. Is it Zeke?
That sounds right.
Ezekiel Stane?
Yeah, but see, he's got an alias because he's trying to, like, he wanted to distance himself from his father, so he's been using an alias. And so what ends up happening is Riri's doing her own thing, and she's kind of doing some underhanded shit, and she gets busted by the lieutenant of the group, who's also like the brother almost to the dude who's running things, the Hood, and she ends up killing this dude. She has like a really brutal fight with the guy, and she locks him in a chamber that sucks all the air out, and he suffocates and dies, and she starts to freak out because she murked this dude, right? And things are just kind of spiraling out of control. Eventually, they realize who she is, and they fuck over the Zeke guy and get him sent to prison over some of the shit that she was doing. And so while he's in jail, the Hood comes to him and offers to basically give him something like the shit from Iron Man 3 Extremis, but he's got like a more stable version or some shit, and he has like electrical powers instead of fire powers and shit. And so the deal is he has to go after Riri and kill her. He beats the fuck out of her, but he doesn't outright kill her. She gets away, and some of the other members of the group are like kind of starting to think the Hood's fucked up, and they're not on Riri's side, but they're not on the Hood sides either. And most of them end up walking, but the Zeke guy can't because part of the deal was he basically got upgraded, like in the movie, the Blumhouse movie. So the Hood can basically control him and do whatever he wants to. And it turns out the Hood, like when he was like 12 or some shit, his dad was like some muckety muck dude, like some corrupt dude. I don't know if he was in crime or not. I think so. And so he threw the kid out after his mom died because he didn't think he was ever going to amount to anything. So he comes back with all this power and all this attitude. He basically takes over this guy's tribe empire and threatens to kill his own dad. Finally, it comes to a head where Riri's had her suit destroyed, and she's able to rebuild a new suit out of like a car her stepfather had bought for her before he died and shit. But she can't find a power source. You know, the same thing that Tony Stark had trouble with. Even in the world, she doesn't have an arc reactor. She can't create an arc reactor, so she doesn't have a way of powering the suit anymore. And she's so ashamed of all the shit she's been doing. She's not willing to reach out to Wakanda and stuff. You know, a lot of fucking hand-wavy shit. You know, all these problems could be solved if A, she wasn't such a shithead, and B, if she would just call her buddies in Wakanda, but she won't do that. So things get really interesting at this point, because basically she hooks up with this chick that runs a magic store, like a Wiccan store, but she's like legit a sorceress. And she's able to channel magic into the armor to go up against the Hood. And at the time, they think that the Hood has been powered by Dormammu from Doctor Strange, right? You know anything about this shit? You seen any of this shit online?
No, please keep going. Okay. Holy shit.
You see why I want to talk to you about this shit. So anyway, she goes up against the dude, and she manages to take him out and steal his hood, and then she's walking out, and she runs into the guy who really gave the dude the hood, right? And it's fucking Sacha Baron Cohen, okay? Borat. However,
very nice.
Very nice.
Let's take your armor, very nice.
But the thing is, he recently got divorced from Isla Fisher. He's already joked that he was hard launching his midlife crisis. The dude went out there and got fucking sick cut using Ozempic, right? So he's not like as bulky as the dude from Eternals got, but you know, it's lean muscle, but he is fucking shredded now.
I did see something about Sacha Baron Cohen getting uber jacked for something. So it was this Disney Plus shit. Okay.
Yeah, and he grew out a beard because he's fucking Mephisto.
Oh, I mean, he's kind of like a lean, wiry, goofy guy like Mephisto. I actually don't think I hate that.
No, and most people actually thought it was great. It was like a highlight of the series when he shows up and they finally gave him Mephisto, and he's doing like these weird accents where he'll do one accent, then do another accent because you don't really know where he's supposed to be from, and he's basically sweet talking Riri, right? So one of the things about this magic that was powering her armor, and by the way, when she's using the armor, there's like creating all these like sigils and shit all around her, and it's very like Doctor Strange kind of shit going on and stuff. So they've basically combined mysticism with this armor. But the problem was it overwrote Natalie, her best friend. And so she doesn't have the AI anymore. Plus, she had the hots for the best friend's brother. And she'd been keeping the existence of Natalie from him, but now he knew. So not only does she lose her friend in the AI, but also the brother loses the friend. She's all fucked up about it. And so she actually, at the end of the series, lets Mephisto talk her into selling her soul to bring Natalie back, seemingly because they're cross-cutting shit. So it could be an illusion, it could be a lie, it could be a dream sequence, but it ultimately seems as though she sells her soul to Mephisto, gets Natalie back, and Natalie's like, oh my God, what the fuck did you do? And that's how the fucking series ends.
All right. Well, okay, let me process this there for a second. So that's a lot. So how much with the stain shit was there like a callback to Iron Man 1? Was there any of that stuff?
Oh yeah. See, what happened is, everybody thought that Stain had died in the plane crash, right? Plus you had the snap. So that means you tack another 5 years onto it. So it's been a long time since Stain died, but everybody just thought he died in a plane crash. Nobody knew he was corrupt. And so when the son gets busted, they're like, oh my God, he's so rotten. He's nothing like his dad. When in fact, he's trying to be a good guy and he gets fucked over by the hood and all the circumstances. So he was going to be a good guy, ends up being a bad guy. And he's actually pretty good in the role too. It's like everybody is actually pretty good in this. The only one that's a problem is the actress playing Riri Williams, not necessarily because she's a problem. It's Dominique Thorne. It's that the character is such a dumbass and so unlikable by purpose. And of course, they end the series on a dark note. So it's like, this is kind of ballsy. I'm like, I kind of respect what they ended up doing with this. And I more or less watched the last like 3 or so of 6 episodes because while it started out pretty shaky and, again, it seemed like a concept I had no use for, they came around and salvaged the shit out of this thing, apparently.
All right. Okay. Interesting. So then here's an issue I've got right off the bat. First of all, like, I don't know. Like, I understand that she's Iron Man adjacent, but she never had any actual contact with Iron Man in any of these MCU movies. So then to have a Stain connection to Ironheart is kind of a reach that is like, it feels a little, let's give the series something because it's Iron Man adjacent, whatever.
Well, but here's the thing. There is they're all working in this high level tech stuff, like this dark market of high tech shit. So you could see where there'd be maybe a limited number of people involved with that. Although Stain wasn't really the inventor himself is the problem. Like if he'd been the inventor, like, because was he an inventor in the comic books or is he purely a businessman?
No, he's an inventor in the comics.
Okay, so maybe there is a little bit of like Sun shit.
If I remember correctly, he built the knockoff armor. I mean, now some of it was, he had his team helping him build it, but you know what? I don't know. Maybe I got to scroll back through and maybe that's a detail I'm kind of spacing out on now that I mention it. But yeah, anyway, keep going. Sorry.
I'm done. I just wanted to see what you thought about all this shit. Now, I will say one thing too, is the armor actually looks pretty good by the end of it because of course she's going through a few different versions of the armor and the dark magic armor is more tight and looks a little bit more like the comical one, but thankfully it doesn't look too much like it because I think that she had one of the worst costumes ever fucking conceived. It was so disgusting. It was like fuchsia and purple shades and she had like a heart shape on her forehead and another quasi heart shape where her heart's supposed to be. It was fucking hideous. So I'm really glad that ultimately she does have kind of an Iron Man suit, but it's more heavily black and red. And so she definitely looks like more menacing. Plus, one of the things that you have happen to you when Mephisto is working through you is you start getting like these like black thorn tattoo kind of things, kind of like the character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer when she went full evil witch shit. And so it just adds to that menacing quality they gave the story.
All right, that's interesting. I'm a little not like, I don't like that only because I suffered through other Disney Plus shows. And when I say suffered through, not the show, I mean I suffered through like the fan conspiracy theory Mephisto shit with all of these other shows when like he probably should have been if you're going to introduce him in all this Disney Plus stuff, it probably needed to be in Vision or I mean was he in this Agatha all along nonsense that I didn't see?
To my knowledge, the only Mephisto media is the show.
So that's it, right? Like so you got all these fans who were just like foaming at the mouth for this over like multiple series that are actually magic adjacent, and then we get to Ironheart and that's where everybody decides to flip the script and drop it in. I don't know, man. I don't get it.
I just dig it because of the twist. Like you're thinking this is going to be some shitty Iron Man-y kind of thing, like on a budget and shit. And the fact that it turns into a horror story by the end was kind of cool. Plus, like you expect it to happen other places. So it's sort of like, okay, he finally showed up. By the time he shows up in fucking Ironheart, nobody's expecting Mephisto anymore. But everybody's fucking giving that shit up. There's no like fucking flies buzzing around and shit. So a lot of people were like, it was interesting because by the time you finally thought it was never going to happen, and then it happens. And I think that was kind of cool, actually. Plus, it's only 6 episodes. None of the episodes exceed an hour. Most of them are closer to the 40-minute mark. So you get through them fairly quickly. Like I said, I wasn't even trying to watch the series. I only watched about half of it, but I was watching it more actively as it progressed, and I wouldn't hurt my feelings or nothing. It was interesting.
Yeah, man. Okay. So on a scale of other, what would you put it on par? I'm not telling you to rank Disney Plus shows, but what is it on par with? Is it I don't know.
Well, there's shit that I hated and shit that I liked, and this was interesting enough to where it was a show that I wanted nothing to do with, and I watched about half of it on the back end. So I would say, well, that was much more interesting than I was expecting it. So, I mean, you couldn't disappoint me because I had no expectations, but it definitely impressed me by the time it was said and done.
Okay, fair enough. I will note that. I just think I'm so many shows behind now on Disney Plus that I guess I could just watch it.
What I'd honestly do is why don't you just watch like the last episode and they'll do like the recap and shit, and you can just watch all the cool shit and not worry about all the like secondhand shit. You don't care anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Because you haven't watched Born Again or anything yet, have you?
I haven't started it yet, no. Because I mean, I stalled out midway through season 2 of Daredevil, which was good. It's a good show, but it's long and it's Netflix seasons, and I've never had time to go back to it. I actually started on Iron Fist and got a ways into that, but the Netflix of it all just really drugged me down. And I understand that's a show that was like up and down a little bit, but by the end, people were like, "Oh shit, that's great." So
what? Iron Fist?
No, Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Actually, people like the second season of Iron Fist. Like, there's a small but devoted following to only the second season.
Wait a second. There was a second season of Iron Fist,
right? They did a second season after the Defenders team up, and they had a new showrunner, and they basically kind of made somebody else the Iron Fist, and so it has this following with people that really fucking like that shit. Only the second season though, because the first season was that Scott Buck dude that did Inhumans, so that was fucking. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Inhumans, but it wasn't anything particularly good. That's part of the reason why I didn't finish it.
Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Shut up! I had no idea this happened. I'm completely. Wow, you're right. Holy cow! I had no clue that happened. That's very interesting. But yeah, I'm not going to watch that.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm not going to watch that. We tried to get through Defenders.
I know. By the way, I know about Born Again. So if you want to throw any kind of spoilery shit, I basically know like the big twist on that one.
No, I haven't watched it either. Okay. I'm just curious.
So you're saying about Defenders though?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying I made it like 3 episodes of Defenders, and then we just were like, we don't want to watch any more of this.
Right.
I'm not wasting my time on this stuff. But what's funny is like Luke Cage was pretty good. We liked the season of Jessica Jones. We liked Daredevil, and then when it just didn't come together. We never watched Iron Fist, but anyway, yeah, we've talked about the Netflix stuff many a times. It's way too long, way too many episodes, just period. Like everything was stretched out way, way, way too long. They should have been 30-minute episodes or 6-hour-long episodes or something. That's what it should have been. But they were like these were like 9-10 episode seasons at an hour plus each, and I can't do this stuff. It makes me want to throw up. So yeah, sorry, but that's what I have, like PTSD going into Born Again. But I've heard it's like entertaining, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, there's definitely it's a Frankenstein's monster, and people see, oh, well, that was probably from the first run, and then this is for the part of the revision. But generally speaking, everybody liked what ultimately came of it. But you can definitely see like the stitching.
Interesting. Okay, so the next, let's just skip to the Thunderbolts. Okay,
being the hero, there is no higher calling. Serving people in the street, adored like gods.
Dad, that's just a fairy tale. No one here is a hero.
I am a boy. There's no use fighting.
He's invincible, all-powerful, stronger than all of the Avengers rolled into one.
You don't know what I'm capable of. Maybe I need to show you.
Avengers are gone. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are.
Us?
We could be the people that are coming.
Let's do this.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts. Only in theaters May 2nd. Filmed for IMAX. Get tickets now.
So Thunderbolts came out, received like relatively positive reviews, although I assume expectations were extremely low. Although you guys seem to like dig the trailers and stuff a lot. I was the one who kept saying like, this movie's gonna suck. It sucks. I don't want to see it. It sucks. Anyway, so now we've all seen it. So I finally saw it this weekend, mostly because I wasn't gonna pay to watch this movie, and I had to wait for it to show up finally on Disney Plus because all the bootlegs online were all fucked up. Like, they're terrible recording. I don't know what the Russians are up to. I don't know if it's because of the conflict and they're not able to maybe the theater that normally bootlegs them got bombed or something. I have no idea. Got drone struck, but it took forever to get a good version of it to watch. So yeah, I watched it online this weekend. It was better than I thought it was going to be, even though I'd heard, a lot of people seem to really like it, which made me nervous. I didn't like hate it at all. Hold on, I've got notes on it. What do you think, Mr. Fixit? Will I find my notes? Because we jumped from the crow so quickly.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was actually pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. It was pretty fast. It really didn't have a lot of fat on it. It was kind of, we get to the end and we meet the new Avengers, the Dark Avengers, and I thought it was good.
I think it's the longest of the 3 movies we're about to discuss, hilariously enough. Yeah, I think Thunderbolts is longer than Fantastic Four and Superman. Here are some random notes that I wrote down about this movie. Would you guys like to hear them, since I've seen it more recently than you two?
Yeah.
Sure.
Florence Pugh is thick in this movie, which became like a whole thing I kept hearing about. Like even like her neck, like she's got a little like double chin in this one. I'm just merely stating what I saw because I kept hearing about it. Julie Louis-Dreyfus wig is so bad. I hate her. This is a bad Veep impression. Go away. I like the Red Guardian's limo service protecting you from a boring evening. The ghost sucks, but she shot Marvin in the face. That refers to her shooting Taskmaster in the face in the first like 15 minutes of the movie. And then I say, wait a second. They're all working together to go after Val, aka Julie Louis-Dreyfus' horrible character. I might actually be into this. U.S. Agent rules. This dude is exactly in this movie how U.S. Agent is in the comic books. He's like an overtly arrogant asshole. And I was there for it. Let me see.
It is weird that cinematically in the same year we get the Johnny Walker U.S. Agent and Guy Gardner.
Right. Yeah. And both like they didn't just what do they call it? Where you
it's like Johnny
they
Walker,
didn't just steal their valor and just use their name for some bullshit character. They actually like made the characters comic accurate.
Kind of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That wasn't really the full Johnny Walker experience. You had to wait until Thunderbolts to get the guy that people know from the comic books.
Yeah, and like where they're doing the 4-person like elevator where they're walking up the elevator shaft once they get Bob on the team or whatever, and how of course the one who's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and just take the risk. Fuck all you guys. You guys need to just figure out how you're gonna. It was U.S. Agent. I thought that was all funny. When Bob discovered he could fly and flew up to the freaking stratosphere and then bombed back down to Earth, the shockwave effect was like excellent. For my expectations are very low for any of the effects in these movies, and the shockwave effect they did were like all the Humvees like all like shifted at the exact same time was surprisingly cool, and I'm very rarely impressed by anything in these movies anymore. Let me see what else I got here. Once Red Guardian picks him up in the limo and tells them not to drink from the big gulp, that was fucking disgusting. Then Bucky shows up like literally like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator 2 on the Harley with the shotgun. I think he was even like doing Terminator 2 moves from it, but it seemed so intentional. I was actually down for it. Bucky's wig is also awful, and I think that we've talked now several times in these podcasts about how bad the MCU wigs are. Like, they're horrible. They are like the worst wigs ever. I don't understand why they're so bad. I can't stop staring at them when they're on the screen. Any banter between Winter Soldier and Red Guardian ruled. I was getting a lot of like Homelander, Elizabeth Shue vibes between Val and Sentry that were like, and then they even made his hair blonde. I know he's blonde in the comic books. Unfortunately, the on-screen persona of Homelander beat Sentry to the screen, so it's a copy. Sorry, you copied him. I don't care what the comic books did beforehand. They got beat. Did Homelander beat Sentry in the actual comic? When did the boys come out?
Oh, Sentry's way before, yeah.
But then Public Spirit and Martial Law was around before either one of them. So it's a
no. The corporate engineered Superman,
fucking
with
Public Spirit and Martial Law, dude. That's the same fucking shit. He's made
but with the very motherly corporate overlord who tries to keep him in check, and there's this really like gross.
Sleep Man was the one with the edible complex, so it's the same book, but they took something from one of the characters and put it into another character.
Yeah, but and then he's got blonde hair and he's Superman. I mean, look, dude, to me, this very much paralleled the recency of The Boys, not martial fucking law. But no. When did Century come in the comic books? Like the late 90s, early 2000s?
Early 2000s.
Right. And when was Homelander?
That was mid 2000s. So
mid 2000s.
a few years apart. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking like maybe 8 years apart. It's not that long. We're not talking like we're not talking about 60s to 90s here, right?
No.
Oh, come on.
Well, and the simple fact is that like Garth Ennis is borrowing heavily from guys like Pat Mills. Anyway, that's he's one of those guys like Mark Miller, where they just take the stuff that was done 10, 20 years before them and just make it worse and more, sorted. So that wasn't anything special. Now, Paul Jenkins was the guy who came up with the Sentry, and he was going for more of an elevated Alan Moore kind of thing, but they're still doing evil versions or compromised versions. They're still doing compromised versions of a Superman archetype. So it's nothing new there.
But let's be honest now. They played it up as Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created the Sentry in like the 60s.
Yeah.
That was the whole gimmick behind the Sentry, was that he was a lost hero.
Yeah, I remember that, right? He was some rediscovered. He was like a rediscovered.
Yeah, like they found a piece of paper in some folder and they forgot they had created this character that was like a Superman type character.
Let me see. So then they crashed the 95 Impala SS that pissed me off. When they vaporized the little girl, that shit was extremely brutal. I know she comes back in the end, but at the time it was like, goddamn.
The whole Hiroshima shadow effect thing was probably the best thing in any Marvel movie recently, because that was so jarring and so disturbing.
Yeah.
And it recalled for me, like I love Dreadstar and Company. At some point we'll get back to talking about those books. And the first time I'd ever encountered that in fiction, or really in general, because I didn't know a lot about Hiroshima in that time period, was in Dreadstar. And so knowing that was a real thing eventually, like, it's just very haunting imagery.
Yeah, and then again, like the timing of it was like, you're right. The effect of the flash of them going away it is like jarring, right? So I thought they used it very effectively.
That sound was fucked up.
And then of course everybody comes back, everybody's fine, whatever. But I will say, the overall. Oh wait, hold on. My last note here. Damn, I was about to say, good thing I didn't have anything about it. Didn't have anything about Anthony Mackie in it, and then in the stinger he gets mentioned, so we didn't get scot-free out of that one. But okay, so the movie overall is kind of about like depression, mental illness, and friendship, which I thought was good, and I liked the movie. I thought it was going to be, I don't know, it had a little more depth than I thought it was going to have. And there wasn't a bunch of shitty fan service in it either. Which is like, the desperate fan service is like the worst, where they're like, oh, we better talk about Steve Rogers, or we better talk about the snap in this one so that people remember this is part of that. They didn't do any of that shit. I don't think Steve Rogers got mentioned once, even with US Agent. I mean, maybe they called him like a bootleg Captain America a couple times, something like that, but it was just to kind of shit on him, not to like remind us of Chris Evans. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. Okay, except they do reference Thor, right? Because he's saying, if you're better than the Avengers and the Avengers have a god, then that means I'm better than God, or something like that. But again, that was for the character development. It had nothing to do with fan service. And I think I kind of appreciated all that. And Red Guardian was fun. I thought for sure I was going to hate Red Guardian in this movie. I thought it was fucking funny, dude. And again, I kind of don't really like, I feel like I shouldn't like Winter Soldier and Bucky's character. Yeah, I kind of still liked him. And then again, with him and the Red Guardian going back and forth and them all going after Val, and Val kind of turning into a piece of shit as opposed to trying to be the new Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know. It all kind of ended up working for me, and I dug it. So anyway, that's that.
I agree. I did enjoy. Did you see that they did like an infomercial for the Red Guardian's limo service?
Nah, I didn't see any of that stuff. Sounds funny.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's straight out of the '80s, where they even the mic pops up a couple of times in the back, and I saw it. And it's so fantastic. No, the Red Guardian made them.
Friends, it is Red Guardian here. Ha ha ha! Yes, my powerful 2-car fleet is at your service, protecting you from boring evening. I do business trips. I do school pickups, fancy funerals, and regular funerals. Listen to what my friends have to say about Red Guardian limo service.
Limo service at Red Guardian, we'll take you anywhere.
Oh, that's nice. Every paid ride includes selfie with world-famous Red Guardian. Ha! Selfie. What are you waiting for? You're basically robbing me. I close my eyes, you take my money. Run! Remember, I can do this all night.
Call 1-833 Red Limo. That's a 0, not an O.
Call now.
For the glory
Another thing too, the Ghost. You guys know I am a hater of the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, and that's her only appearance. I'm a massive hater of that movie, and she's a reason why. She's terrible in that movie. I thought she was pretty damn good in this movie. Like, I was, as soon as she showed up, I even have it in my thing. Oh, great fucking Ghost is here. But again, she shoots Taskmaster in the face, and then from there she's like not like horrible at all. And I was like, oh, it was just an Ant-Man and the Wasp problem. Like, this chick actually isn't bad. They just made her so like horrible and whiny and repetitive in that movie, along with everything else that was repetitive and horrible about that movie, that like I was like, it ain't her fault. And she ended up having really good chemistry with all these characters. And again, I don't know if the original plan was to have Taskmaster be a little more involved, and it just like didn't work, so they retconned and shot her in the face or whatever. But that appears to be a fantastic decision, and I think the crew they kept, I was into all of them. None of them, they were all brought something different to this little shitty team. With that said, like, am I like excited to go see a new Avengers movie? I wouldn't go that far, but no, I thought it was good. So anyway, sorry, I forgot all about to talk about Ghost. So anyway, that's that. What about you, Diabolu Frank? Tell us why you hated this very diverse movie. This very diverse movie, by the way. Before you shit on it, it was diverse.
I'd actually like to hear from Mr. Fixit. But he only got as far as I like the Red Guardian, so I'd like to hear some more from him.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a different take on a Marvel movie. I mean, like Max said, they dealt with mental illness. It was more emotional, especially with the Black Widow, like coming to terms with what she wants to do with her life. I liked it. It did feel like they were going to try to go Suicide Squad, but didn't go full Suicide Squad. They didn't start killing people left and right, at least their characters. So I did appreciate that. I'm kind of surprised because I know they called them the New Avengers. I'm wondering if they're ever going to do the Dark Avengers, which was my favorite run, which would be kind of interesting with the New Avengers and the Dark Avengers running around. But even the villain, I mean, I liked him. I liked Bob. I thought he was pretty funny. He was awkward. I did not know that was Bill Pullman's son, right?
Yeah. Louis Pullman, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. I was fine with Val. I like Val. He's an asshole. That's kind of her role. I'm trying to think. When we get to Fantastic Four, I was a little still confused by the singer at the end. It doesn't quite make sense anymore. Besides that, I was kind of glad I was glad that they got rid of Taskmaster quick. I really didn't know what they were going to do with that character.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird unless they were going to have it. Obviously there should be some relationship with Yelena based off of Black Widow and stuff. And the other thing I was to say is to follow up on my comment earlier about how Florence looked a little, worthy of some criticism in that opening scene. After that opening scene, I thought she looked great in the rest of this movie, dude. I think Florence Pugh's freaking hot. So I don't know. I don't get all the hate in this movie for her. And I was going to say what I didn't expect at all was that for her and Bob had great chemistry. I was like, I didn't know where they were going with that when they started this thing. I thought they were fantastic for the rest of the movie. Anyway, I was down with all the little relationships that popped up in this movie. I was down with all of them. So anyway, now I'm done. I'm sorry I keep talking. I apologize.
And you, Frank?
Okay, so number one, when Fixit and I kept talking about Thunderbolts, there was always the hope that at some point we were going to get a Thunderbolts-like twist, just like the original Thunderbolts, where it turns out that they were, everything wasn't what we thought it was going to be. They just and certainly there was still that dim hope that at some point Zemo was going to come into it and do something to kind of connect it to the classic comic books, the Kurt Busiek, Mark Bagley stuff. So that was part of why I kept holding out hope that I was going to be more into the movie. And when I was watching the movie, what it kept reminding me of, we've had this conversation a lot. Like, this podcast is very Zennial flavored. It's Generation X with elder millennial. And so we have those kind of experiences. We were all the feral youth and drinking from the garden hose and all that other kind of bullshit. And I look at the Marvel movies when they were first getting started. They were super duper targeting Generation X. They're playing whole music, not whole music. They're playing Nine Inch Nails music. They're playing Filter. They're playing a Tool. You've got, it's just like they were super focused on us, right? And I think that the heroes kind of worked well generationally because you had the boomers that had grown up with Iron Man and Captain America and the Avengers and such, and they were getting represented. Then you had Gen X because they were coming at it from that sort of perspective and definitely drawing from a lot of the comic books that we would have read. But also you had the millennials and the Zoomers who knew them from cartoons and from video games, all this kind of shit. So part of what made Marvel works as well as it did was just this perfect perfect storm of catching multiple generations who were all interested in Marvel, all interested in the idea of a shared universe and wanting to see that finally realized. But they were definitely targeting Gen X in the early part of it. And to me, watching Thunderbolts, especially the lead up to the movie coming out, where they were putting all those ads out toward the end, where they were very much trying to do the A24 Marvel movie with all the flashing lights and the electronic music and shit. It's like, look, we're new, we're hip, we're happening, we're doing the same kind of shit that they did for Bodies, and that kind of bullshit, right? And then I'm watching the movie play out, and I feel like this was the first millennial Marvel movie. And it's for a generation of people that have just never caught a fucking break. 9/11 happens, the stock market crash, the housing bubble, everything. Just been one fuck up after another where they can never get a fucking toehold, and they're super fucking depressed. And also, this was kind of the generation, the participation trophy generation. So there was an assumption that they were going to keep achieving, and it's something that at some point they were going to do well and be the champions, and that's never fucking happened. And so this whole movie was about these sad bitches whining about their lives and like, when is it going to be our turn, and when are we going to be happy, and how can we ever pay back the mistakes that we made, blah blah blah. And that was the whole movie, and I could feel myself recognizing that I have aged out of that kind of shit and that kind of mentality, and I never had a lot of that mentality because I didn't go through those experiences. And I just really watching it was like, okay, this is not for me. This movie was not made for me. It was not with me in mind. They're trying to get a different generation. I don't really relate to this type of shit, and I'm just not super into it. But the main problem I had is the same problem I had with Captain America Brave New World, is that I knew pretty much every fucking thing that was going to happen in this movie, regardless if I actually got to see it. Like, in the trailers is just like extrapolation of what we'd already seen. And I was just fucking bored. I was just bored the whole time I watched the movie. It was fine. It was amiable. I could definitely put it on, on Disney Plus if that's where it's at, and fold clothes and shit. But this is not a movie I would ever actively watch again, because there's just nothing there for me by design. I think it's just not made for me. I'm not their target group, and I'm not going to be supporting them because that's not for me. It's going to be somebody else's problem to support that franchise, because I'm not here for this bullshit. Simple as that.
Okay, so I think you need to clarify something for our audience, if you don't mind here for me, Diabolu Frank. Okay, so you fought hard to compliment Craven and fucking, what was the other shitty movie that came out you guys talked about?
Morbius.
Madam, what you were like fucking clawing like your life depended on it to find silver linings about those dog shit movies that are like universally dog shit. Like, where the actors in the movies are going on TV cracking fucking knock jokes about them. So why is the tone so negative on this one, other than the obvious answer that you are just a enormous asshole and contrarian, and pretty much unanimously everyone ended up kind of liking this movie, but you had your fucking like you got it figured out. You were the fucking edgelord of all edgelords. So this one's not for me because it's got flashing lights in it, which is unbelievably dumb fucking shit to say. Unbelievably stupid shit to say. So please, I want you to tell me why Craven was such a better movie than this one. And it can't be because people didn't like Craven, so you had to defend it, and people did like this movie, so you have to tear it down. I'm taking that off the fucking Scantron, you Gen X piece of shit. You should know what a Scantron is. Yeah. So that can't be the answer. Now go.
Okay, it's important to know.
Wrong.
Wrong. I will not be watching any of those movies again. These were all single shots, right? I don't want to watch any of those movies again. I did not enjoy any of those movies. I did have more fun with the badness. There was an MST3K quality to the Spider-Verse movies where I could enjoy the badness. Plus, I did enjoy elements of it. I enjoyed the Rhino shit. I enjoyed some of the goofiness. Whereas this movie, it's not goofy. It's sad, and it's really into its feelings. And it's just, for me, it's kind of a long bummer. And I did not find Red Guardian amusing. And what really got me is Florence Pugh too, is because she's so good in the Black Widow movie that everybody shits on, and she's so good in Hawkeye. Like, that show goes up multiple levels when she starts bouncing off of the Kate Bishop Hawkeye. I really wanted to someday see the Young Avengers movie where those two are piled up. I wish to God that she had been in this movie. That would have been such a plus. But instead, we've got Hugh being all sad and shit. Yelena's got to be all sad and shit. So instead of being that charismatic, fun, punchy person that we see in other stuff, it's just like, I assumed that if nothing else, I was going to enjoy her. And she was just so fucking, oh, I'm such a terrible person. It's like, it reminded me so much of the Scarlett Johansson version of Black Widow, where, there's red in my ledger. But the thing is that was the hallmark of her character, was that deep regret at the things that she'd done, the things that she'd been brainwashed to do. That was her arc. And now Yelena's having the time Natasha arc, but I never wanted her to have the Natasha arc. I wanted her to have a Yelena arc where she's kind of like, no, this has been my entire life. I killed a bunch of people. I don't really give a shit about that. I'll kill you too if I've got to, but I'm trying to just live my best life and enjoy myself and move past it now. That's the Yelena I wanted to see in this movie. Honestly, the Yelena from the other two features is a Gen X chick, even though the actress is not in my generation. And now she's like, oh no, you're being a sad bitch and you're dragging the movie down with you. And everybody's a sad bitch and everybody's so sad about their lives and oh, I wasn't a good father and oh blah blah blah. And I hate myself and I want to beat myself and somebody needs to give me a hug. You know, the Care Bear stare, power of love, fucking ending bullshit. Just all of that's like, I don't want to. This is a drag. This isn't fun for me. Honestly, watching it reminds me of my father. But this was definitely 100% suddenly my father's genes kicking in for me. He would watch the most dog shit fucking movies, and then he'd be like, Pulp Fiction. I don't like that. Why are you making me watch that? But this is an instance where it's like, yeah, okay, this dumb shit that I can take or leave as I please, and I can laugh at its absurdities. That's more fun to me, and I'd rather watch The Substitute. Like, he's a big fan of the fucking Treat Williams, Tom Berenger Substitute movies, and I get it in this particular instance because I don't want to fucking watch a movie that's a goddamn drag, especially a superhero movie that's a fucking drag. And Thunderbolts was a drag, and that's why I didn't like it. But I'm not going to watch any of those movies, and I'm not going to go out of my way to defend any of those movies. So they're all a bunch of like superhero fatigue. When are we going to move past this? Are we ever going to move past this? I'm getting, these type of movies make me sick of watching superhero movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're being intentionally too harsh. I just think you are.
But that's just it. I don't even think I'm harsh. All I'm saying is I'm not into it, and I don't think it's for me, and I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, I think the weird, like, this is more of a generational thing. I think that's kind of bull. No offense, dude. I think that's total bullshit. Like, if you saw the Marvels and were like, this is obviously for like young girls. I'm an old, probably dying soon man. I'm not into like, teenage girls and their like female role model. That's where you could be like, this ain't for me. Except you wouldn't probably feel that movie, but you would be like, hell yeah. So that's where I'm a little confused. As I don't know. It seems to me like a superhero movie tackling like hardcore depression. I mean, look, yeah, you could argue that the original Black Widow did this movie a little bit. And you can argue that Yelena was contemplating suicide at the beginning of the movie, and that Natasha did that because she sacrificed herself because she was all like, I'm the one who needs to go because I don't have anybody. You could argue that's a parallel thing. You could argue it also is parallel on purpose because they're both Black Widows. I got it, dude. I get it. And yeah, but see, look. Then did you want them to spend 30 minutes on her and Red Guardian figuring out their father-daughter relationship?
I didn't want to spend time with anyone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? But she shouldn't be like,
yeah. I don't know. The problem is, I don't care to spend time with these specific characters under this specific circumstance. The one thing I will say in Red Guardian's defense is at least he was the one person who's like enthusiastic. We're a team. We're the Thunderbolts. That would at least brought some kind of pizzazz to things. But everybody else being like Roni, like, oh, he's so cringe. Like, I'm bored with you guys. Yeah, no. So we can debate if you want to. The simple,
no, we don't have to. We don't have to.
Yeah.
No. Look, you didn't like it. But I will say, I don't want Baron Zemo anywhere near this movie. I thought that character was. You want to talk about cringe? That character's fucking cringe as shit. That's the stupid dancing meme in the club that went up. That ain't Baron Zemo. Don't put him in this fucking thing. I don't need a masked version of that dude, whoever that actor is, in this movie for a big reveal. Give me a freaking break. So like, look, dude, like, you kind of laughed off like, oh, my family doesn't like me, dude. Having a U.S. agent be like, dude, that was a fucking turn where he was trying to bullshit that he had like a happy family at home, and then he gets yanked on him that his wife fucking left him and took their kid away. That is something like, look, you may say it's kind of a drag, and I'll say it's kind of a fucking refreshing turn that at the end of the movie he didn't run into the arms of his wife and kid, right? Because that's something that would have normally happened in these movies and didn't. And I was like, okay, look, dude's allowed to have look, people get fucking divorced, and dude's having and he was having like fucking PTSD and got a divorce from his wife. I don't know. I think that shit's kind of refreshing in one of these movies. Apparently that's a millennial thing. I didn't realize that was a millennial thing, but I guess wars are new, but I don't know. I respected those kind of things. That I was like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see them doubling down and him having the shame of hiding it and then having pulled on him later. Like when she pulled that on him later, I was like, oh, like I audibly said, like, oh shit, like, and that's at least I had some responses to some things that occurred in the movie. Unlike some of these other movies that we've seen where I'm trying to like, I'm trying to make it to the toilet in time to throw up. So now look, your expectations were high, mine were low. So maybe that's why the equilibrium balanced out like it did.
My expectations were not high. They were just higher than your expectations. I will say too that the Johnny Walker stuff was probably one of the best things in the movie. I probably like that the best of it because he's an asshole. Everybody treats him like an asshole. I'm kind of cool with that. The ghost actress is an attractive lady. She worked well with the other people. Didn't bring much to it. I think my main problem was Yelena. I didn't need any more of Daddy, you abandoned me. I just wanted you to come home. And it's just all that shit's like, go away. I'm tired of all that shit. No, man, Yelena, I'll go after you. Like, no, go away, go. I don't.
Okay.
Fair enough. Look, you're not in the character, not in the characters. Okay, we can.
But I am into the character in anything but that movie. That's the thing. As I expected better of Yelena because she's been so great and everything else. She's elevated everything else she's been in so far. And then with Thunderbolts, it's just like kind of a wet fart for me. And I'm just literally bored watching it in the theater. Partly, again, I wasn't like cutting back and forth between multiple movies like I said I did with those other movies. That probably helped that viewing experience. I had to just sit there without, because I don't bring my phone out. I'm not one of those fucking assholes. I'm just sitting there watching the movie bored. And that's the main problem. Especially after I'd already done the same fucking thing with Captain America, where it's like, I know everything that's going to happen in this movie and I'm just fucking ready for it to end. And it's like, you're talking about the lack of fat, but like some of the flavor comes from that fat. And like, just, I was glad that it didn't take a long time while boring me, but you know, it's like there was nothing there to savor either.
Well, but I will say too, though, as you and I both, I watched Brave New World under the exact same circumstances as I watched this movie, and I thought Brave New World fucking sucked. So these movies are on different ends of the spectrum for me. I'm not saying that Thunderbolts is my favorite movie of all time, but Brave New World was like, until you just mentioned it, I'd already forgotten about it, and we had just talked about it a few seconds ago. Like that movie is like a complete nothing burger. Nothing happened in that movie. Like Sentry alone is more interesting than anything that happened in that movie. Like Red Hulk, you fucking kidding me, dude? Val, as much as I hate her, I had more of a reaction to her than I did to any character in Brave New World. Hating Yelena is, in my opinion, at least more than like I had apathy towards that movie. Everything was just like awful. So we could fight all over again for comparing Brave New World and Thunderbolts. I would not lump those two together at all. Brave New World was a Disney Plus movie, or a couple Disney Plus episodes. This one did not. At least it pushed it out of the Disney Plus realm for me.
And I'll be clear too. This movie was definitely like just objectively better than any of those Spider-Verse movies. I think that there would actually be some ranking challenges between Captain America and those Spider-Verse movies. I'm pretty sure at minimum Kraven I liked better than Captain America. So you know there's definitely some oxygen between.
Fuck that, dude.
Okay.
Captain
America, let's move on.
Let's move on. Something at work.
We're beating a dead horse here. Let's move on. Okay.
Wakanda is a kingdom of many secrets. Spies like you and me sent out across the world to do the missions that Wakanda does not want known.
Secrecy is essential to Wakanda's security. Be a ghost.
The time to act is now!
We fight for home, for Wakanda.
So did you ever get around?
What's next on the agenda?
Did you ever get around to watching Predator: Killer of Killers?
No. It's on the list.
Okay, so I don't
keep forgetting about it.
I don't want to spoil it for you then, but what I will say that if you see Killer of Killers, then you will have also already seen Eyes of Wakanda, the 4-episode cartoon, CGI cartoon on Disney Plus. Because I didn't mean to, but I accidentally watched all 4 episodes in a pretty rapid succession. Because they're fairly brief. Most of them, like the official time is 32 minutes. You know, they have all that fucking extra shit. And like once I saw the credit sequence once, I didn't need to watch watch that again. So I was knocking these things out at like roughly 22 minutes each. And like, it's pretty much the exact same story. And this is produced by the same, I don't know about the same company, but they're both coming out of the Disney machine. So it's hard for me to believe that one wasn't looking at the other to some degree, because the parallels are really strong to the point where there's even a Predator-like presence at one point in the fucking series. So what I will say
what
about
is this show? Wait, what is this show called again?
So it's Eyes of Wakanda, and it's 4 episodes. They're a little over a half hour each on paper. It came out on August the 1st, and it's basically looking at history through Wakandan agents out in the world. Like there's some of it that takes place in Wakanda, but a lot of it takes place outside of Wakanda. The first episode takes place kind of roughly in the same time as the Greeks were running around, because the second episode is actually the Battle of Troy, because they make a little, here's the thing, you know how you got those guys that were running around not that long ago, and they were talking about how, a day doesn't go by that men don't think about the Roman Empire and that kind of bullshit? Yeah, definitely those guys are going to be super pissed off at this fucking cartoon by the Monday morning, I'm thinking, because they basically completely fuck around with the story of Troy and the Odyssey, and they recast the figure from that. It's a completely different figure related to Wakanda, and it's like, okay, well, you're fucking with the white people lore. We're going to have fucking Heimdall all over again over this shit, right? And then the third episode takes place about 1400 AD initially in China, and then the final episode takes place in the 1800s, like 1846 or some shit like that, right? Or maybe even earlier than that. And I have the same problem with the show that I had with Killer of Killers. If you believe what the show is presenting, the technology in Wakanda is so advanced that they essentially stopped developing at no later than the 1800s. And they've got technology that's so ridiculously advanced that it makes no sense that they haven't conquered the world and spread out into the rest of the universe. Like, they're having these fuckers fly around in personal jet aircraft in 1400 AD China. Okay. They've got fucking telecommunications. They've got Morse code, probably transcontinental signaling devices, again, at the Battle of Troy. It's just fucking stupid in terms of the history, because it's way too far in advance of where I realize you want to show Wakanda being super advanced, but like maybe a couple 100 years like they are in the present times. But again, if you have personal intercontinental aircraft in 1400 AD, then why aren't you running around all over the universe and shit? Like, it makes no fucking sense that you essentially have the same craft that we saw in the Black Panther movies, and they're tying into the Black Panther movies very specifically in the last episode, and you're like, it doesn't make any sense then. You know, that you guys were way too fucking advanced, and it's got like your basic CGI animation, like a Buzz Lightyear kind of look to it. Also, the fashion doesn't change, so everybody's essentially wearing the same clothes they're wearing today, 1,000 years ago almost, you know? Apparently this culture just locked and stagnated and never progressed from this point onward. So it's a very frustrating show in that kind of dumbness. Plus, everybody kind of talks like normal people for most of the show. And in particular, you have a figure, they're in China for one of the episodes, and yet these people are going back and forth between Chinese and Wakanda without any fucking problem. So it was very frustrating, but it's short. I got through it fairly quickly. It just, it didn't do a lot for me. It was just so stupid the way they treated history in the show. And it's written by, mostly written at least by Mark Bernardin, who's a buddy of Kevin Smith's and shows up on the Smodcast and shit. So again, it's too bad Fixit in here, because he'd know who the fuck that guy is. You don't, I'm sure.
No, I do not. I apologize.
Yeah. But anyway, while I was clearing out all the Marvel shit, I figured I'd knock that shit out too.
It's interesting. I did not know that that had come out until you mentioned it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm a bad comic fan.
Well, and one problem with it too is I could be like, well, it's a cartoon to watch with the kids, right? But it's a little too bloody for the kids, especially in the earlier episodes. And also, it's, again, it has the same issue with as Killer of Killers. They've got about 10 minutes of story, and then it's 20 minutes of constant gravity-defying action and just people jumping around and punching and kicking and stuff. So not only are they not satisfying stories, but it's this weird thing where it's really too mature for young kids, but it's way too juvenile for older people. And again, I am a prejudiced against animation in general. I think that most animation is fucking stupid, and mostly it's just like the worst shit from comics or wrestling, but they just animate it, and there's all these people like, you don't like animation, because the stories I don't think are there, and it's very true of this as well. So unless you're just totally getting off on seeing Wakandans kick ass throughout history, then and you're able to turn off your brain and just enjoy the action, great. But I could have gone without watching that. I was right to not, I was inclined to not watch it. But again, that short, and knowing we were trying to clear the decks of all this Marvel shit in one big fell swoop, I figured, fuck it, let's go ahead and knock this shit out.
All right, sounds good. Well, I need to watch Killer Killers next still, and I'm sure Fixit's seen that, so we could talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be good, because I'm going to do a Predator omnibus in a couple of months, which will unfortunately will be before Badlands comes out. But I figured, okay, well, we can at least talk some Predator shit with relation to the cartoon.
Badlands looks like silly fun. I'm I did not like the thing at first, but the kooky buddy cop trailer got me. I actually think it's going to be kind of silly. So.
Well, plus, like, it's clearly tying into Aliens as well.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, okay, so we're kind of getting the Aliens vs. Predator movie, but instead of a stupid, fucked up video game version of it, we're getting like a natural story evolution, seemingly. It's the guy who did Prey, who also did, or was at least involved with Killer of Killers. I think he's actually the listed director. So, you know, people like Prey quite a bit. So one hopes that this will work out too.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, I thought that Predators was one of the better sequels, and it's the basic same premise, just that it's a predator on a more dangerous world as opposed to the guy from the jacket, you know, and the guy with the Rasta accent that got kicked off of SNL trying to survive in a slightly less hostile environment.
All right, man. Well, hey, did we ever do an intro for this podcast?
No, but yes, kind of. Yeah. So don't worry about that.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Marvel Super Bowl podcast.
You
or whatever it is. Rando podcast, movie podcast, Roll Spine podcast?
Yeah, no, it's cool. There is an introduction to the Civil War stuff. I'm just haven't figured out whether or not I'm going to break this into 2 episodes. Permanent Marvelite Maximus followers include Alex Anderm, All-Around Arbiter, Chris Mort, Drew Yax, Ivy Bola, Janice Andrews, John Soul, Leah Ellison, Luminous, Mitsuki Destan, Gul Lalantis, Razia, and Voxel Hero. Keepers of the Favorites Flame include GNR, JB395, Alan Mejia Estrada, Alex O, Billin Colorado, Bob at Megathumb Zero, David Galler, Derek WC, History of Comics on Film, The Irredeemable Shag, James Brophy, Jarrett Keene, JMT Productions, Marvel Star Wars From Empire to Jedi, Maxo, Meph the Landcat, The Phantom, Stephen E. Shend, Terminator, Tim Price, and Tunez. Retweet Frantic ones include Between the Pages blog, David A. Quinley, and the Relatively Geeky Podcast Network. Enough sayers on the Revisiting Peter David episode included Michael, who wrote, "Very nice interview, solid job. Looking forward to a potential episode with Fixit's perspective on Pad, P.A. David." Del Dracula wrote, "It's great to hear him. Thanks for sharing this. Spoiler, I mentioned him, referring to his doodle of Vulture 2099, available only on Blue Sky." Finally, Julie Raoul wrote, "I will miss Peter David. He was my favorite creator who got me into X Factor, and I really like his Hulk work. Its influence was in that 96 Hulk cartoon, an Ang Lee Hulk movie, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe." And finally, the Mary Marvel Marching Society, Ed Moore Teal Productions, El Romero, The Hammer Strikes, Random Geeky Stuff, Julia Raoul, Keith G. Baker, Michael, Mr. Perturb, Nick Spence, Richard Field, Slangward Scott, and Superbound.
The Marvel Superheroes Podcast is in no way affiliated or endorsed by Marvel Entertainment. All characters mentioned and audio clips employed are believed covered under fair use, but remain copyright their respective copyright holders. But of course, the views expressed are wholly owned by the people who spoke them. No infringement is intended.
When Blackton America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. There's a Mexican Falcon and a Red Hulk. Hey man, go see the movie, don't sulk. When Blackton America throws his mighty shield.
Well, here's a stinger for you.